If you're looking for the answers, I still don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead, misinform, or misrepresent the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. But if you do, going to talk about you. Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator Show. My name is Andy. I am your host and the aforementioned Sports Card Investigator. Guys, welcome. Glad to have you back. So, some stuff happened over the past week or so. PSA dropped a little news. They're bringing back their value level, if you want to call it that. Oxymoronic, if you ask me. It's $5 more than what their economy used to be. Actually, $10 more. It's been so long ago, I can't remember the prices. I remember those $8 grades. My God, that seems light years away. But it is their cheapest grade they have now, and predictably, several content creators made videos on the news, what it meant, what it'll mean, and they spoke quite eloquently, gave great opinions and insight on what this is going to mean for the hobby, if anything. I mean, if you don't use PSA, it's not going to mean anything. But so I was on Twitter when the news broke. I messaged Ty and said, hey, let's do something out of the ordinary. I'm going to do a quick video on how quick can we get it on YouTube. I'll just do a 5-minute reaction video. And he said, get it to me. I got some work to do, but I'll get it on by the next morning. So I said, okay. I rushed down to the lair of the Sports Card Investigator and went to work. I was joking on the video, which you will never see, that by the time this comes out, things will probably have changed. And not to my surprise, by the time I finished doing the video, things had changed. Even stuff that I mentioned on the video that probably will change, indeed had changed. So how it ended up, if you're a member, you can grade on your own without going through a submitter, but you have to put in 20 cards at $30 each. You have to drop $600. The declared value at first was $2.99 when you had to go through a submitter, but now it's up to $4.99. Not bad. And like I said, it was weird because when the news first broke, you had to go through a submitter. There was no limit, but the declared value was $2.99, and I could see how that would not be the greatest thing. So content creators reacted to it. PSA changed things very quickly. So at the very least, it did create content, especially for those content creators that do so on a regular basis, and I am envious of that. They could just, boom, go down there, say what they want to say, and it's up there 10 minutes later and beat everybody to the punch. That's terrific. Some people, content creators alike, and some of the comments I read seem to be upset for some reason that PSA was lowering their price and thought it was maybe a money grab. Maybe it was, but the price did get lowered. Others questioned if PSA could handle the influx of cards they were going to get, and still others speculated that, and probably educatedly, that they're probably through the backlog, which gives them the ability to take on this new submission level. One would think that if they went through that massive amount of cards at that last $15 value level, they should know what to expect. They did say the wait time for this $30 level could be 5 to 6 months, and they did say that there's a chance, which means probably will be a little longer. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I had time to think about it. I guess it depends on what you're doing, right? The lower cost, I was thinking, will this lower cost now have people submit those questionable cards, base cards? Oh, bite your tongue, you dollar flipping Prism base card guy. Well, maybe. Will it be something they can make money on? Probably, at least in the short term. People that get them first to market, you know how that goes. Think about it. The cheapest grade for the past year was $50. That's not a gradable number for a lot of cards, base cards especially. But that basketball class of 2021 and the one coming up, this year's football class, you couldn't take advantage of that $15 grade. So now people, probably a lot of them will throw those cards in at the $30 grade. I think they will. I think so. Is it smart in the short term? Maybe. And again, those people that get to the market first are going to be fine, because there's guys out there that are going to scoop them up. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't they do it at the $50 grade? Well, some did. Some probably will still do it. Maybe not as much now, but that's a financial gamble for sure. If you don't 10 a base card or a common, let's say common card, or the guy you speculated didn't pan out, you're going to get hurt. Now, can that happen with a $30 grade? Yes, it can, but the risk is less by 40%, give or take. So I'll answer your question. Am I going to submit base cards on a $30 grade? No, I am not. Those days are over. But I have a bunch of cards that fit very nicely into that $30 grade, $4.99 declared value, and I don't care when I get them back. I do not like the 20 card minimum. I am not a trusting person, and I do not like trusting my cards no matter what the value to other people. That's just me. Everybody can make their own decision. Free will, as I like to say. And that could very well change in the future. If not, I will just wait till I have 20 cards and submit. Maybe it'll go lower. Who knows? I also know that a lot of people out there do not like PSA, and that's cool too. That's fine. Just do what you think is good for you. Remember, cut through all the BS and just do what you think is right. There are other options out there. I'm watching a 9-part series on a new grading company that's fascinating. So we'll see how that shakes out. Maybe when it's over, we could talk about that. So there are others joining the grading war, but things are shaking and moving along. So I thought I would mention it. But let's talk about another subject. I love this subject. Come up lately by different content creators. It comes and it goes. I really didn't give it much thought because it really doesn't affect me much. It shouldn't really affect you. But it's an interesting topic nonetheless. And that's the topic of content creators or people in the hobby pumping up cards and then dumping them. I mean, is it something that we care about? I think it's interesting. I've seen a lot of content creators when this started talk about different types of cards that they buy. That's what their content is. But are they pumping the cards for financial gain or simply to create content? Or is it more just promoting or education, as I've heard some talk about? I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get us updated on the wonders of unknown, or to them, obviously, undervalued or underrated cards. Did you know that it's much easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled? You know, there are elements that have to take place in a real pump and dump, and I'm not going to get into that. That's been going over it again. But the question becomes, when I'm watching all of this, is it promotion? Is it education? Is it consistent, constant talking about a series or type of card by one or more content creators? The question is it done with bad intent? That is the intriguing, important question. So here's the problem. Since intent is a mental state, any lawyer worth their salt will tell you it's one of the most difficult things to prove. I spent a lifetime developing information and evidence, and I will tell you there is rarely any direct evidence of a person's intent. No one is going to tell you that they did something wrong. They're not willingly going to admit it. It just does not happen. Let's look at a totally hypothetical, crazy example. I'll make one up. Something that will never happen in our hobby. But then think about it, and you can tell me whether this is something done with intent or just entertainment or content. I don't know. Let's see. Let's take a Star Wars card, for example. Maybe a one-of-one Kurosawa card. So let's say it's me. Let's say my best friend's out there and he finds this card, and he finds this card in a really weird place. Some guy has it in a shoebox, and it's a Grail card, that 101 Kurosawa. And he can't believe it, but he buys it for $500. Crazy, right? Then a little bit later, you know, I go with my buddy to the show, maybe Dallas, I don't know, and he sets up a table. He takes that card along, and my guy prices that card at something ridiculous, say $5,000. He's not going to get any offers on this, right? But somehow, miraculously, he does. He gets interest in the card. I'm thinking to myself, damn, there's something going on here. We're talking about Star Wars. People are getting hyped, excited. Let me try to see if I could buy this card from my best friend. Even though it's his grail, maybe I could grab it from him. And I offer him $5,000 and he gives it up. I can't believe it. But he sells it to me. And I'm like, cool, this is fantastic. So I buy it from my very good friend for $5,000. I send it to PSA, and my good golly, it gems out. PSA 10, baby. Can't believe it. It's a beautiful card, by the way. Then I'm like, all right, let's bring it to another show where we go. Maybe, I don't know, the Union Market place at Del Mar. But we're just going to bring this card to show it off and try to educate people on Star Wars and how it's undervalued and how Star Wars is undervalued and how people should be looking at Star Wars, because that's what I do. I educate people and I spread positivity where I go, I'm a positivity, I'm a conservator superiority, whatever I am. So I'm at this show with my buddy, and all of a sudden this other content creator, he's another popular guy, he comes over to my table with a stack of cash in his entourage, and he asked me about this card. He had found out about it from his friend who we talked to before, but that's a whole other story. And I said, well, look, I got this priced at $20,000. I know, it's silly, right? But he's not deterred. He's not scared off. And he starts to negotiate. And I said, I don't know. But somehow, we get to the bottom dollar price of $16,500, and he puts the money out on the table, and I'm like, I gotta take it. But after the sale, I make a video entitled Huge Deal or Huge Mistake. And then on every live I'm on, and in several videos, I talk about that card sale. Then the guy who I sold it to does a video called I Bought the Most Expensive Star Wars in the World. And then he does another video, which I am kind of in. He says, is my Star Wars card worth $100,000? Crazy made up example, sure, but so if someone did something like this, is that an example of promoting a card? Is it somehow pumping a card? Is it just, I don't know what that is. It's so crazy, right? Not that it would ever happen. It was so crazy, but I was thinking about that. What exactly is that? Like, is that, I don't know, you guys tell me. But that's all for today. I thought a little story time would be fun. So, if you like what you see, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you don't like what you see, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And until next time, take care.